good, y'all? Welcome to my review for the final episode of Vigilantes Season 1, man. What an episode, man. A fantastic episode this was to end the show off, man. And yes, we do indeed learn that Hachiska, or Tamo, I guess I should start calling her now, is in fact very much alive, though it seems like his wife ends up dying in her place, seemingly. At least from how it comes off, it seems like she died. Now, maybe she's fine as well, but from what we saw in the episode from the flood, it seems that Knuckle Duster's wife has passed away, that she died from whatever she was in, which seems like she was also another victim of Queen Bee, perhaps the previous user before she jumped, because we see that she has the eye patch as well, meaning that probably Queen Bee was inside her as well, because that's apparently what this, the actual bee, the actual bee itself is called Queen Bee apparently, from some stuff I've been seeing on Discord. That's apparently the canonical name for the bee, or the court name, or whatever the case may be. I don't know if she went from the mom first, then Hachiska, or Hachiska, that random chick, Knuckle Duster's mom, his wife, to the random chick to Tamo, or if it was somewhere in between that, or when Hachiska came back, she affected his wife with it, and then she but got the bee out of her. I don't know how this whole thing works. I'm kind of hoping they do explain it eventually. I'm like, what happened though? From what I see from the Hirawaka Discord, it never gets a straight explanation on what happened to his wife. So I guess that's just going to be left up in the air on what exactly. But then again, Vigilantes, as you guys know, has been expanding a lot more on the anime recently. Or the anime's been expanding on the manga a lot. So maybe in season 2 or another future season, we'll get some more explanation on that. And And I also do think, like I said, I do think Knuckle Duster will return. It seemed like I did ask some of my friends to see if this was the end. And it seems like he's just going to be taking a small sabbatical. A small hiatus, be with his daughter, make sure she's back up and running. They'll be back on the streets once again with Koichi. That's at least what I've heard, man, so we'll have to wait and see on that. I did check ahead. He only does appear, because I went ahead and checked just because I was curious. He only ended up appearing in 2 other manga volume covers outside of volume, I believe 4 was the last one he was in, with him and Hachiska. So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Season 2's already been confirmed, man. No surprise there. We've had rumors of there being the Vigilantes being split core, which seems like those rumors were in fact wrong. It's in fact just another season, not Vigilantes being split core, seemingly. So yeah, that's gonna be coming out next year. When? Who knows? But yeah. Anyway, guys, enough jibba jabba. Let's just jump right into the actual episode. So we start the episode off with Koichi, with Pop, listening to the concert. She has the video recording of it, which is obviously what we saw on the previous episode. And she's obviously loving it. As Koichi mentioned, she's been watching it multiple times, so she's so into it. She's so happy. And she's like, okay, let's do it again. Yeah. And she starts dancing and singing to it, and it is very much out of breath afterwards. And I'm like, how are you this out of breath when you went at this for what? A minute, maybe 3, I'm not entirely sure. But she was very out of breath by the end of it, man. We also see that she also got some snail mail, which for anyone that isn't terminally online, that means actual physical mail, letters and stuff sent in the mail. FYI for anyone that isn't terminally online. But yeah, she got some fan mail from obviously Joe Treen and knock of Cyclops. I think some other guys as well. But yeah, so Pop is on cloud 9 right now for her, and that's went down. The OP, we get to hear the OP one last time, and this time they actually did switch once again. They did switch the definition. This time it is now secret identity. And now we start then with the episode starting out properly. We then see the trigger villain for this episode, which is a slicer. Yes, a slicer from Sonic. Obviously now it's more of a man-dog, but it looks like a slicer from the Sonic game, so I'm gonna call it a slicer. Anyway, the slicer is wreaking havoc, man, destroying cars and vehicles and whatnot. Koichi comes in there, man, and then eventually he immediately just starts running away from the slicer. It's a slicer. It's using its mantis blade thingies, I don't know what they're actually called, to stab at Koichi as he's running away, as he's screaming to Pop, get him, bro! Doing the whole thing, man. It was pretty funny. And actually, the slicer ends up managing to slice off a bit of one of All Might's hair thingies on his hoodie, though for some reason, and then when we see the hoodie again later on the episode, it's completely fine again. I mean, you can make the argument that Koichi probably fixed it off screen, but I thought it was a bit of a continuity error, if that's never even directly acknowledged. Now Koichi's no, my hoodie, nothing. Anyway, as Koichi is running for his life, see, comes in there, man, to once again save the day. And say, hey, man, you mind if we talk about how we do our hero work together? They go over to Koichi's place. Why did Koichi bring him to his place? I do not know. I feel like you could have just done this in some alleyway or something. But whatever the case may be, CC is just bitching and moaning about Koichi wants him to start doing hero work because it keeps making more work for him. And we all know CC is one lazy about. Come on, man. Do you really know how I don't need you putting on more food on my plate? As to put it bluntly, my plate is stuffed. Seriously, man, I love Sean in this role, man. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in previous reviews, man, but like, this is easily my favorite role, Sean Stillman. Even more than Goku, man. I just love the voice he uses for CC. So eventually, anyways, they keep discussing and like, they keep telling Koichi's like, oh yeah, sorry, man, you know, which I don't even know why he's apologizing because this dude's an asshole anyway. So like, fuck him. Keep stuffing his plate, man. Make him actually earn his paychecks, I'd say. But whatever the case may be, Pop then pops through a little current thing asking her if he's going to be here the next hour. He's like, another unpaid appearance? Sure, just let me redo my whole schedule. And she's like, bro, you know we don't get paid either for this, right? We're busting our butts. You're busting your own butts for your own entertainment. I'm talking about my livelihood here. Love the voice, man. So then Koichi suggests that she should just go through Makoto with this stuff because he's just going to whine and complain all day, and which is very much the case. Anyway, he says, you think a couple of wannabe heroes would have more respect for pro work. And Kadeo saying that Makoto is working me like a dog. This is the closest thing I've had to a breaking God or no howler. I have the right to milk it. As he like flops his head down on Koichi's table as he's moping and pouting about I have a right to milk it. Honestly, CC's pretty funny, man. And Sean's so brilliant in the role. Anyway, this is when Koichi's great timing, I would say. This is when Koichi gets a call from Makoto asking him if CC's there, and he's like, and so he's like, no, I'm not. He says, oh, he's not. He says he's not here. You rat! And then Makoto like instantly rushes in there, and be like, ah! While he's like hiding behind some pillow. He rushes behind the curtain to hide from Makoto. Pop steps says, ew, I'm changing. Kicks him out, says, I will sue you, and bro says, please don't, I can't afford any more lawsuits. Which I feel like that means you should sue him. You should sue him indeed, Pop Step. Let's make this son of a bitch go bankrupt, man. Because let's be honest, he's funny. And I do enjoy when he's on screen, but the dude's still a scumbag. And I think we can all agree on that. That CC, by all measures, is 1000% a scumbag. Anyway, Makoto tells him about a schedule where he has like this commercial shoot going on there and some interview. So then they rush off to go meet up with those. We then get back to Koichi and Pop said while Pop is brushing her hair, she mentioned that CC does have a point of them making more work for the heroes, and then Koichi's realizing that maybe that we should just get out of the way and just call them the program or it's too dangerous. Koichi mentioned that how most of those they've gotten there have been like that, where they're a little bit too dangerous. And Koichi starts wondering if he should maybe carry a weapon on him for self-defense. Pop says that wouldn't go well for him, and that they should continue on just doing what he's doing and being like a freelance sidekick, do what he can, but then call the pros when he gets too much. And then afterwards, this was a pretty cute moment. He says, "You're right." She says, "I know." I just really like that moment from this episode. We then cut back over to the detective, once again talking to us about what's going on with Trigger. We find out that the Trigger itself didn't cause this mutation from him. Like as you guys know, I mentioned in my previous episode review that I thought with them juicing him up on so much Trigger, that's what caused him to have this permanent transformation into this muscular eel thing. But it seemed like that was indeed the case, that they were transformed and mutated first, and then shot up with enough trigger that would without doubt cause an overdose, so that they could withstand the effects. And then they suspect that this is all part of criminal enterprise, and that they're doing this to that they're expected to make, but they're just nothing but pawns to make these guys so big, and you continuously wreak havoc with them being shot up with a bunch of trigger. Now, once again, which obviously we know that they are indeed connected with All For One in some way or fashion. I don't know if All For One is going to make a natural appearance on the show. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. He's just like a voice we hear every once in a while. While number 6 is definitely probably going to be the main villain of Vigilantes. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Who's the one really running the shot? Is it All For One that and number 6 is working for him, or is number 6 running the shot and All For One just sort of just chill in the background? I guess we'll have to wait and see in future seasons of Vigilantes, but I wouldn't be surprised if number 6 is the one that's pulling the strings with all this. But we'll have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, we then get a quick shot of him once again flipping or tossing rather, that little bee he has inside the little capsule in his hand, as we see him like disappear into the crowd like a fucking assassin. As Midnight and Devil were talking, we then cut back over to Pop's Devil, where they're now back at Naru Fest. We see 3 little girls there performing some song, before we cut over to Ingenium and CC filming the commercial, which, not gonna lie, man, you guys know, if you guys are following me on Twitter, I have been getting caught up on The Boys recently. I've been finally getting back on The Boys. Finished up season 2, I've started up season 3 in the last couple of weeks. Loving The Boys, man, such an amazing show. But anyway, like, no lie, when I saw this, I immediately thought this was like something from The Boys. I immediately thought of The Boys when I saw it, because it looks very much like something out of The Boys. Anyway, it seems like this commercial was mostly just to say that the highway's finally been rebuilt, and that, you know, all is good now, and they can finally begin getting cars and whatnot, can start using it again. Of course, no, CC has a problem with the commercial shoot. Once again, this feels like this was ripped right out of The Boys. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, I'm like 90% certain that Vigilantes started production in manga form way before The Boys even was ever picked up by Amazon or whatnot, man. So I doubt that unless the manga for Vigilantes read the original like comic for The Boys, I doubt this has like any connection to The Boys. But like, this reminded me a lot of The Boys. This portion of the episode. Anyway, as I was saying, he asks him to go back a few frames. We find out that where his like hair is covering, because like the wind, I guess, covers up about a quarter of his face. He makes it seem like that. See, my hair basically covers half my face. Are you really satisfied with this? I'm like, bro, it's maybe covering a quarter of your face, man. It's not as bad as he makes it out to be. And they said, like, I mean, and then like, I'm assuming the director of the shoot says, I mean, it's only there for a few frames. You could probably just fix it in post. And I'm assuming like one of the assistants or producers or whatnot, man, whoever this other guy's with them, who I'm assuming is like an assistant director or whatever. I forget the exact project manager. So I forget the exact role of these people that like keep up with times and everything. Man. I forget the name of that. I forget the exact name of that role on the film set. But anyway, he says like, you know, that would be a lot of, and doing that tip would be a lot from Ingenium. And Ingenium being the great lad he is, he's like, oh man, my legs are good for another run. We can go again. Makoto, of course, apologizes for him being a selfish prick. But Ingenium's all cool with it. We then see number 6 once again returning, being like, yes, this is good. Once again, his face is covered in shadow, even though it's bright, even though it's like, it's sunny and it's bright outside. Like, bro, where are these shadows coming from? Where are these shadows coming? That's covering up half his face in the middle, while the sun is up, man, in the middle of the day, man. Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, I'm sure it's not for stylistic reasons, but like, still, like, why is this scar glowing? Once again, it's bright outside, man. It's daytime, man. Like, why is he still caked in shadows? It makes no sense. But anyway, man, we then cut back over to the Naru Fest backstage, where one of the cunts is, I forget her name, one of the twins, is talking with the girls. Like, hey, man, this isn't just some town show. This is like a real thing, man. We need to really worry about stage presence. And they said that and I want you guys to pay attention to this, because this ends up becoming a big thing in the episode, where she says there could be heroes in attendance. Keyword, could be heroes in attendance. Yet for some reason, both the kids, which to be fair, they're kids, I can understand why they would act like this, but even herself and Pop, well, I guess Pop would know the full, because she wasn't there, act like she said there will be heroes in the crowd, even though she said there could be heroes. So I don't know why she's saying, making it sound like she said there will be heroes. Kind of confusing. I don't know what that was about. But whatever the case may be, Pasta tells her that CC won't be able to make it because of the commercial suit. And she's like, I just lied to kids. Oh no. And so one of the little girls comes out there, man, asking her like if she could ask who the pro is. And she says, no, it's a secret, but you'll love it. Koichi comes in there, man, to snag one of the free green room lunches. And then she starts mad, staring at Koichi, and Pop's like, no, don't do it. And so then we cut back to the stage where the intermission is finished. And Pop announced that Koichi is going to be coming on stage, actually calls him the Crawler this time. And then Koichi starts singing, and he's actually pretty good. Once again, obviously, the song was done by his seiyuu once again. And I gotta say, Koichi's seiyuu was a very good singer as well, alongside Pop's which I don't know if I mentioned my review for last week's episode or not. This might have been afterwards that episode. But yes, if you guys are wondering, yes, canonically Pop is a shit singer. They just got an actual good say. That just our say was actually a really good singer who apparently has won like awards and whatnot to sing for. But yes, Pop is canonically a bad singer. I was very confused about that one, but it is fact. But that is a thing in the manga. She is canonically a bad singer, or they just happen to get a Seiyu that's actually just a really good singer for Pop's step. I'm assuming it was probably done so they could actually like sell these songs as CDs and whatnot, because they obviously would sell better if she was a good singer than if Pop was a shit singer, or they purposely got a shit singer to sing the song for Pop, or they just let Macy to sing the songs. Which I honestly kind of wish she did, man. I think that would have been cool. And once again, for here, man, it would have been cool. Koichi got to dub his own song as well. But yeah, Koichi is actually a surprisingly good singer, man. Once again, and this time canonically, he's actually a good singer because she mentioned like, oh great, I hate that he doesn't totally suck. So yes, Koichi can actually sing, and I guess that means Koichi is canonically a better singer than Popstep, I guess. Anyway, we then cut back over to the film set where we see the guy with the slate going in there be like, quiet on the set, take whatever it was, which I'm also 90% certain this dude was voiced by Alejandro. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure the slate guy was voiced by Alejandro. Interesting, those are the slate they used. They literally just used one with like a chalkboard on it that had like the scene name on it. They didn't have the one where it was like the time code on there and everything, which I thought was interesting. Which you guys know, the whole thing is done to like so that they can match the audio together. If you guys did know, that's why those slates when they slate so they can link the audio with the video together since they're recorded separately on film sets. The more you know. Anyway, so we see that number 6 is also part of the staff here, and Vince, he like hits a button on his phone, and this big ass truck just charges in through the cars that are already there, flips over and almost squashes Makoto, but CC's able to stop it. We see the bad villain from a few episodes ago once again come out of the man and have a quick race with Ingenium. He tries to give chase, but the bat swats him away, and then rushes over to kill Koichi and get his revenge for them stopping him when they previously met. While CC gets chased to him and keeps up with them. As Koichi keeps singing the song, the bad villain comes in there and swoops him up, destroying the set in the process. But CC comes in the nick of time, punches the bad villain, dropping Koichi, but he manages to catch him and all is good. He returns back to the set and everyone starts applauding CC. The little girls are immediately smitten with him, like, oh my god, you're so cool, it's a real life superhero. You got that whole thing going on there. We then cut back over to Koichi's place again. Once again, unfortunately, none of the the commercial cars in this episode. I don't know why they're so inconsistent with them. Just put them in every episode. They're really cool, man. I want to see them in every episode. But whatever the case may be, Koichi's cleaning off his place. He finds that Knuckle Duster left his mask and his knuckles there, just on his table. He's wondering with Pop and what's going on. He says that he was in a hurry, left them for his white collar gift that she doesn't believe the company exists, which, to be fair, I'm with that as well, although I imagine probably has some sort of job, considering he gets, like, painkillers and, like, an industrial size, stun gun from the black market. I imagine he has some sort of job, some sort of occupation to pay for these sort of expenses, but whatever the case may be, Koichi continues theorizing why he left them there, maybe forgot them, or he just wanted Koichi to clean them, which is what he thinks is, and he literally then starts cleaning off Koichi's knuckles, or Koichi rather starts cleaning off his knuckles, or his brass knucks, I should say. Anyway, we then get a flashback to, I'm assuming the last time they worked together, where they took out once, it looks like they were taking on like those like Sentai-looking skater guys we saw earlier on in the series, and they didn't have the black tongue. They started thinking that all the trigger crimes have just gone up completely, and Knuckle Duster was like, well, gotta make sure it doesn't come back. He then walks into some alleyway saying that he's gonna walk on that. You guys take good care of him. He has like some important business to get to. We then cut back to Makoto, where she comes in there still asking for the interview with Knuckle Duster. He tells him that he's not there yet, and then asks if Pop's there, which she is. She goes inside and tells him that she has more fan letter for Pop's, as well as some of the set photos as well. We're back to Koichi once again cleaning up the knuckles, where this is the next transition where we see like the water kind of like dripping off his hand, and it fades into Tomo's IV too, which I thought was a nice little transition. We then see there with Sugo watching over her. Her arm falls off the bed, and Sugo puts it back on there, man. She's asking like, who are you? You don't look nice. Poor Sugo, man. Like, this dude, every time he goes there, everyone just tells him, you don't look nice, you look like a delinquent, this, that, and the third. Which, to be fair, they're not wrong, he is, but like, still. I imagine there's probably a single time where we're like kind of judging him by like this. But anyway, he puts it back. He puts her hand back on her bed. She asks her like, you know what, like I said, she asked her like, who are you? You know, my head hurts. I can't feel my arm. Where's my dad? And like right on cue, that's when Knuckle Duster shows up with some yogurt in a bag. He puts his hand on Sugo's hand, says like, thank you. He walks off and tells Naomi to be in touch. So I guess I feel like at this point, Sugo, right? That was his name, right? Was it Sugo? Yes, Soga rather, excuse me, Soga. Is he just Knuckle Duster's errand boy at this point? Like, because that kind of feels like what it is at this point, man. Not gonna lie. Anyway, he brought some yogurt for her, and then puts puts a blanket over her body, asking her where mom's at. Tells her that sleep is the best medicine. Well, besides laughter, that is. And then starts asking her about where her mom is, and this is where we find out what happened to his mom. Which, like I mentioned at the start of the review, it seems like she died, but maybe she's just in critical condition. Maybe she's straight in a coma or something. But judging from everything we see in the episode, I'm almost 90% certain she's dead. But we'll have to wait and see, I guess. So we see the flashback of Knuckle Duster rushing over towards his wife. Eventually catches up to her, man. Where it's like, and this is like when we see her with the eye patch on, which, like I said, makes me think that she was also a victim of Queen Bee, which is probably how Knuckle Duster knows how that to get the bee, to get the bee out, was through the eye socket and ripping it out. I wouldn't be surprised he did that with like his wife or something, because I feel like that's probably how he even knows that. Whatever the case may be, he rushes over there. He tells her, the narration from Knuckle Duster to Tomo says that he told her that she was safe and that she was smiling. And we get this shot. He's like kneeling over the bed, man, while grabbing onto her hand. You see like the markings on her, man. Which, like I said, all this makes me think like she's dead, but so far nothing has been confirmed she's dead. So, like I said, maybe in season 2 we'll get a straight up answer whether or not if she's alive or dead or not. But whatever the case may be, Knuckle Duster grabs her hand and says, but don't worry, I'm here. And I gotta say, man, I love all the callbacks to I'm Here, both the main series and Vigilante, but I love it. And I also gotta say, man, the drawings here, man, were really good, especially on Tomo, man. The drawings of her, like the close-up on her face, man, when she says, I can't see her, right before Knuckle Duster grabs her hand, man, are sensational, man. Hopefully the Gengas for these get released, man, because I would love to see these. But yeah, these drawings look really good, man. I love the drawings here. Anyway, then we cut down the end of the episode. We come to Popstep coming in there with a cork board that she wants to use to hang up on fan letters and photos and whatnot. Which then Koichi starts putting his own shit on. He hangs up a bag containing Knuckle Duster's mask and his knuckles and his brass knucks in there. He puts the recycling schedule on this thing as well. And then we get some narration about from Koichi to end the episode off about how memory is unreliable, how he views Knuckle Duster as the leader of as the master of the house. But he only knew him for like a few months at most. Etc., etc., etc. And then ends it up with one season ends, a new one begins. Which I thought was a nice little way to end the season off, and right into the after season 2. I thought that was pretty clever. And that, ladies and gentlemen, where the episode ends. Also, gotta say, I love the little photo where we see everyone, working together. The group photo everyone took after the concert was done. You got the Mad Hatter and like the school chick also both blushing while looking at each other, man. So cute, man. Like I said, I hope we see more of these two, man. They're so much fun. They were so much fun in that episode. I hope we see more of them in future seasons of Vigilante. We'll have to wait and see on that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is where the episode ends off, man. No next episode. They didn't even have the whole season 2 confirmed thing. Like there was literally nothing. Which I was kind of surprised by, because you made season, every season ended with season 2 confirmed, to be continued season 3 or whatever. This one had nothing, even though they announced season 2 right after this episode had ended. So I was kind of surprised there wasn't an announcement or anything in the actual episode itself. Whatever the case may be, man. Yeah. So yeah, season 2 looks like that'll be when number 6 will be truly integrated in the series and become the main villain of Vigilantes. We'll have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, anyway, guys, hopefully I give this episode a 9 out of 10, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. You like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow us if you feel like it. Links are across below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.